Christopher Lockhead has this great quote. He's an award-winning author. He says, if your profit model is based on transaction rather than lifetime value, you're always going to be worried about your clients leaving you for a younger, better looking you. That's what happened. That's what, and y'all, I've been in this for a long time. I was a hell of a lot cuter when I started.
Not me. I'm the best I've ever looked right now.
You talk about it privately. We talk about it publicly. This is the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered Podcast. Welcome again to the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered Podcast. I'm your host, Dwiggy Dwiggins. I really enjoy saying that for some reason.
It's fun. Are you kidding me?
With Mr. Crazy Uncle Keith.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Hey, man. Probably one of the most unique guests we've had. Amy Stockberger from Amy Stockberger Real Estate in South Dakota. It's not the point. I don't even know where to begin. I'll let you do it, but just one of the most interesting approaches to residential real estate that we have seen yet.
Yeah, I'll rapid fire some of the tidbits that we got, but PhD in failing forward. You're going to learn about that. You're going to learn what a serverpreneur is. Good luck saying that fast 3 times, but it is beautiful. This quote from her: "We don't do transactional. We only do transformational." You want to sum up her business in a sentence? That's what it is. She has a very limited lead spend. Almost 90% of her business is repeat and referral. She has thought about the entire life cycle of homeownership and dissected how she can provide value for her clients from before they even think about buying a house until they sell their last one. She shares all of her tips, all of her tricks, some of her collateral. This is packed with content that is the opposite of pretty much anything you've heard in our podcast or really in residential real estate. She's just fully leaning into solving the problem of more than 80% of the people say they'd use their real estate agent again, but less than 20% do. She's cracked the code on how to solve that problem. You're going to love it. Put it in your ears, kids.
Hey, look, it's competitive out there and everyone is looking for an edge. Top agents from all over the country have been using Zillow Showcase to stand out with listings that truly impress buyers. For those that haven't seen it, Showcase is an exclusive, immersive media experience, stunning photography, video, virtual staging, and even Sky Tour that drives more views, saves, and shares. In fact, agents using Showcase on the majority of their listings sell 30% more properties than agents that are not. If you want to showcase your brand, win more listings, and be the agent sellers choose, get signed up for Zillow Showcase today. Amy, welcome to the podcast. Yeah. We are super excited. We have not had somebody on the show yet that services South Dakota. So we've been traveling around and getting people from all over the U.S., but that's going to be our first. So we're excited to have you to talk about the market up there. And
do you give like a blanket with every closing? Or?
Right. Well, we're the warm Dakota. We're the one closer to the equator, so we're the warm.
Not a lot.
No. Gentlemen, thanks for having me. Though I am so jazzed for our time together from South Dakota.
Yeah, glad you're here.
Yeah, that's funny, Keith. You're thinking North Dakota. It's like north.
They're all
south.
cold.
Like,
they're both cold.
We are from California, so everything's cold to us. So
one is slightly warmer, but still not warm. Yeah.
So Amy, let's start with you and just go down a little bit of your background, kind of the speed round. You know, how you got into real estate, your journey getting to where you are, and then I'm sure going to have some follow-ups on that, and then we'll dive into our rapid fires.
Okay. Well, I've been in the business for a little over 25 years now. Came into it straight out of college. Actually didn't graduate, walked graduation, 5 years in college, didn't go back, started working for my dad. He had a Coldwell Banker and a very, very strict anti-nepotism rule. So he put me in the back office, dank and dark, paid me $24,000 and said, sink or swim, missy. And I fell in love with it and learned everything from the back end. And that's actually served us in a lot of different ways that I'll get into. But have worn a lot of the hats. I was a buyer's agent for a hot second, was a single agent for even hotter of a second, and decided, no, I'm going to go in. And I got my sister licensed, got a part-time assistant who was actually hearing impaired because I was working the deaf community at the time, which was a big market in our market. It was really sticky. And so I started going and did everything wrong. PhD in failing forward, did everything wrong. Started my team, started growing, really liked it. And my husband joined in 2009. And then we really started going. Then about 14, I found a major hole in our business, which we're going to talk about, which I found to be a major hole in our industry that forced me to provide a solution that we call lifetime home support. And it's helped us to become we're a brokerage now. We run as a teamerage. We've been the number one team in our market in South Dakota since we built our model, number 33 in the nation. And y'all, South Dakota, we're the fifth least populated state. We're pretty small. And it's allowed my 20-some agents to dominate 10% of the local market share because of our lifetime home support model, which takes care of clients before, during, and forever, and really focuses on the client experience. We don't have past clients. We only have forever clients, and it allows my agents to build these big, juicy legacies with warm leads that will allow them to build a business they can sell, which is really important to me. Referral.
I love this. I love this topic because we've been asking, as we've interviewed all these top teams across the U.S., and the answers have varied quite a bit, but not anywhere to where you're going. Yeah, because they're very top of funnel. Mm-hmm. And then like it's sort of a lot of the stuff has been epiphanies of like, we don't really do a lot like with our past clients. Like they're not focused on that. It's
we know we need to get to that.
We know, like we're going to get there.
Yeah. Past clients, a dirty word in my office. Yeah. We don't have past clients. No, and
that's the right way to approach it. So I'm excited to get into that. I want to dive. We're going to dive into that whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's actually something near and dear to both of our hearts on that as well.
For sure.
Let's do our rapid fires then, so we can just get into the meat of it. Keith, kick us off.
All right, Amy, favorite book or podcast and why?
Well, I read, and I have our family and my leaders read the 4 Agreements every year.
Great book.
It is just a good one, and it finds you where you're at each year differently. And so that's just a go-to. And so that's a big one that we do. Podcast, Mr. Ed Milet and I will be in business together one day. I will be on his podcast. He's been on my vision board for years and years. I talk to him all the time in DMs. He doesn't respond yet. But he will. But I enjoy his brain. I think he's got a beautiful God-driven brain, and he, I feel, is a serverpreneur, which is, again, we talked a little bit before that we jumped on, but I don't have a team of entrepreneurs. We have a team of serverpreneurs, savage serverpreneurs. We don't do transactional. We only do transformational. And that just aligns so much with what I hear in Ed. And so when Ed and I are in business sometime, we'll give you a shout.
I love how you're just like completely forecasting your future in the universe.
Ed is in for it.
Once he starts to respond to my DMs, besides giving me a thumbs up and a heart, he has to think that I'm just this lunatic from South Dakota. But
you're persistent.
No, it's good. You gotta have that tenacity. So, all right. My question is, who's been the most influential person in your life and why?
We are very family centric. My husband and I run this business here. I live next door to my sister, her and I have other businesses we own with our family. My mom works here, my cousin. So I would say my family in general is just a big part of who we are. And my grandma, I had a little German grandma who went to kindergarten. She was 4, didn't speak any English, and came from nothing. And so she was really intentional about making sure we had and knew who we were and how to make sure that, like, we never moved when we were with her. She was this tiny little redhead. We would walk down in the mall or somewhere, and she's like, "You make people move. You don't move." I'm like, okay, like you do not be small. You do not do probably likely what she did. And so I would say her. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that story. Yeah. That's there's some words of wisdom in there. There's some real words of wisdom in that. All right. So you gave us a couple of background on your team. You said 29 agents?
20 agents?
20-some agents. We're like 24, 23, I think, right now. About 10% of the market share.
Just for context, like your 2024 production units and volume, just to set expectation of kind of like where you guys were.
We'll probably end about 160 million in volume. It'll be right under 400 units, which I think is dog shit, but it's the industry. I've done 600 units with 15 agents. So we were typically, when the market's normal, we're right around a 500 units.
That's a really that's an amazing number. Yeah, that's the production number is very high. Yeah.
Well, this girl is so competitive, and I hate losing more than I love winning, and I really love to win. So it's like this year we're not going to we hit pretty decent goals this year, and we're going to go right underneath them, unfortunately. But
how do you, as a type A overachiever, how do you deal with that? Like, you have what do you do?
Well, continuous improvement, one of our core values. I'm actually in, this is quite interesting you asked me this. So I'm in a mastermind with these brilliant leaders who are 10,000 light years ahead of me, 8-9 million, or 8-9 figure exits, and called Full Spectrum. It's with Brad Peterson and Vijay Krishnan. He wrote Startup Santa, but we're in this full spectrum mastermind, and in the full spectrum of your life. Like, it's not all about what you do, and who you are isn't defined by what you do. And I think as a high achiever, we get stuck in that. And that's something that I've been really stuck in. So in this mastermind, just learning about, it's not always about being in the mud, the flood, and the thick of it, but looking around and just like, okay, what is your big picture? And serving is our big picture. That's the foundation. Serve, sell is the foundation of our model. And today they're asking, like, who are the people that light you up? And entrepreneurs are my favorite species. They just are my favorite species of humans. And knowing that we get to do this, even if we fail in our goals, like, we've made such a big ripple effect, not only in these servapreneurs, these humans who are just so spectacular, but in the clients. Like, we've changed their lives too in what we're doing. And so even when we fall short on like dog shit numbers that I don't like, that I still know that we made a hell of a difference in a lot of people's lives. And that ripple's sexy, so that helps me.
Anchoring in past a number, right? And humanizing those numbers is a really important part of what we do. So that's good advice. Thank you.
So you're known for this lifetime home support model. And just for some context, since I want to make sure you understand why I mentioned the comment, Keith and I are like in love with what you're doing.
Very much.
So for, Jesus, man, how long now? Like 15 years? How long?
Yeah, at least too long.
We've been talking about how the industry is flawed in that it's very top of funnel, and I'm kind of setting this question up. So very top of funnel, and so much of the industry operates, like the portals, for example, operate off this idea that agents are really bad at following up with their clients. They're bad at staying in touch with them. They're bad at creating those relationships long term. And so those people end up being leads that get redistributed. And if we were to solve this issue of maintaining this relationship over what Keith and I have kind of coined the life cycle of home ownership, that it would shift the entire, it would shift everything. It's not, your value is not defined by the transaction or the 90 days you work with them, but it's defined by the 8 to 13 years you have the relationship with that client before they sell and buy again. So framing that up, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah. Give them the solution, Amy.
Yeah,
give them the solution.
Go deep in this.
Okay.
Go deep in this for us. Yeah.
Because that's what it was. So here, just like to backtrack real quick, 2014, I'm a systems girl. It's one of my superpowers. I can systemize a lot. And so we were killing the before and during part of the transaction. Clients were loving us. Man, we were killing it. Everybody was happy. But our repeat and referral business wasn't showing that. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand, why was my repeat and referral business not as much or as big as it should be with how happy they were. And at that time, I was running these billboard ad campaigns, like 30 grand a year, for one goal: to remind the people who knew, like, and trusted us to use us again. Well, guess what? They didn't work. They weren't serving them. They weren't authentically taking care of our clients. It was nothing. It was a brand awareness piece. It was such a short-sighted, limited belief on my side. And so I went down at Extreme Ownership. I'm like, okay, Amy, what is your point of difference? And it was so gross what I found out. It was so shameful. My point of difference, you guys, I was the local expert at connecting buyers and sellers. Oh, but wait, guys. I could help sellers sell their house for the most amount of money, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassle. Wait, buyers. I could help you find a house that matches your budget and your parameters. No
Amy,
shit.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
I think it's in Webster's dictionary, our exact description of our job. I was so disappointed. In my little market, you guys, it was like 170,000 population. There was like 7 of us. Billboards down the road in the bustling Sioux Falls, South Dakota, all saying the same nonsense. We were just everywhere, USA real estate agent, not offering any value. And so I went out to do what entrepreneurs do, because that's what I was. And I wasn't a serverpreneur at that time. I was transactional, not transformational. And I was like, I want a model I could copy and paste and make it my own. And I could find bits and pieces of models, but I couldn't find one that was all inclusive. So I'm like, I'm creating one. And we created what we call our lifetime home support model, which has a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process before, during, and forever. Our clients can save up to $20,000 in the first year, and the support and savings continue for life. So from the very first homeowner getting out of a rental into home ownership, we have a lease buyout program. To the very last seller selling their last house, going into senior care, we have a golden age guided move program. To everything in between, for every season of the human journey, we've created a solution. And our signature solutions are, from a guaranteed sale, instant offer, love it or leave it, all that. But the signature is our VIP club and our vendor program. And so our VIP club, when somebody buys or sells one time, they get access to our VIP club for life for free. So it's access to moving trucks, moving supplies, but I don't pay for those. So I think what teams and brokers miss is that they should put the Amazon model into their business model, meaning they should adopt their concept of turning every cost center into a profit center. So every truck I have is paid for by somebody else. Before the first one arrived, I had it paid for by somebody else. I put ads on the back, had vendors pay for them. We cash flow those. And they serve us in more than one way. They're a billboard on wheels. We cash flow them. Our clients can use them for life. They're a community give back that is so sexy, but it has our brand all over it. And so with that, we added that right at the same time we put in a party and tool shed. So any supply they can think of, from cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machines, margarita machines, bouncy houses, all branded to me, our brand, because every entrepreneur, your job should be to have as many people as possible talking about your brand in front of as many other people as possible, as often as possible, as the best way as possible. So we give them such an easy way. The law of reciprocity kicks in hard, where over 90% of our business comes from repeat and referral, because we serve at such a high level. So they come and get all these pieces of equipment, having parties with all their friends, not by themselves. Our brand is everywhere. They check it out for free for life. Same with our tools, because there's so many, seasons of home ownership. So the things they don't want to rent, buy, or store. And you guys, this isn't for first-time home buyers. My luxury clients check these items out too. And agents we teach around the nation to do that have the same thing, where I have a handful of doctors who they don't buy any tool. They just come down and check out every tool we have, specialty tools, wheelbarrows, ladders, carpet cleaners, again, all branded to us. Then we added an online discount center. And as we started to grow this out, we started in 2014, I found the problem. I have a PhD in failing forward, figured out all the ways not to run this program. And then after I figured out how not to do it, then I systemized the hell out of it and just ran it right. And by then we doubled our next team in production within that first 2 years by just keeping our clients for life and turning every one client into 5 more, because you guys, agents miss this. Humans trust referrals from friends and family 92% more than any other marketing or advertising. NAR tells us year after year, your biggest lead source is your sphere. You should be doubling down. 5 to 6% of your sphere is going to transact in the next 12 months. You should be doubling, tripling, 10xing down on serving them in an authentic way that you're staying in front of them. Again, without being commission breathy, without being like, hey, what do you have? We're serving. I give my agents reasons to talk to their clients. And we set up software even that when a client checks out a piece of equipment, my agent gets notified right away so they can make that touch point in the time that it matters. And another nice thing is that we didn't do it. I wish I could say I planned this and I was just brilliant and figured this out. It wasn't. It was just a byproduct. The brokerage and the team has a relationship too with that consumer. And then as we started growing this, because we saw, like, we as real estate agents, we're super connectors in the best way, right? Sure. We're the experts at connecting buyers and sellers, but we connect them to every other resource they need: HVAC, electrician, dentist. And we decided to, in the vein of growing our sphere and helping our clients, like, let's create a vendor program that will take care of our clients for life. We're going to set it up, framework it out. We'll help these vendors build their business too. We'll help our agents have more value to give back to their client because we have these vendors, and then we'll charge these vendors. So we have like 110 vendors. They pay us each $3,500 a year to be a part of our program. So before we even serve a client, we're profitable. But then we also turned it into a lead generation system, because all those vendors have employees. Being a business owner is hard. One of the hardest things about being a business owner is attracting and retaining good talent. So we built out the program so that we get to have, not only are they paying us to be a part of it, but to be a part of it, they have to allow us access to their employees. So just from that, we have in this year, over 80 units closed just from the employees. that we've been in front of. And so that's, over 800,000 in my market for GCI that's coming in. And then I get to give those leads to my agents. So those leads are coming in at a different company dollar too, but it's helping them grow their business. And every one client I give my agents, they get 5 more clients. Yeah. So we're building that referable scalable business.
I got a lot of questions because I want to make sure we get these in here. I know Keith does too. So Keith, do you want to start us off or do you want me to go?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I want to just start with this. What percentage of your business, your overall business is referral?
90.
Just currently today. 90.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Follow up. Do you guys do online lead gen as well? Like, are you part of Zillow Flex and the other programs and things like that, or no?
We don't have Flex. We do a small Zillow. That's our second. So our biggest lead source is lifetime home support, 90% repeat and referral. And that includes our vendor program. And then we have the Zillow is like the next.
Okay. And anything other than Zillow, just for context?
Yeah, broker to brokers that, come in, but the majority is that.
90% of your business is referral.
Right.
Yeah. Like, and I'm assuming the Zillow stuff, we asked this question because we're trying to cement this. We have a lot of people that are like, online leads suck, they're horrible, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to make an assumption, but you look at that as an opportunity to create a new relationship to get more deals off of, and like that's
that's just a forever client that we're staying in front of. And again, just building out, again, very passionate about building big juicy legacies for our agents. Again, every deal we're able to pass to them, our whole lifetime home support model keeps them for life. And also think about it too, like with my agents, so 1 to 5, that we're bringing them, we bring in 1 client, it turns into 5 more. Those are warm referrals. Warm referrals convert higher. They're more fun to work with. Our jobs are hard.
Easier.
Totally.
And I tell agents our jobs are hard. We're doing big things and people are not in their best acting self. They're stressed, and so they're not being the best human.
All right, one more, and then I'm going to turn it over to Keith because I wrote these things down. Yeah, so 110 vendors, $3,500, so $385,000 on that program. I just want to make sure I caught what you were saying. Your company, the material that they're taking or borrowing or using, et cetera, has been purchased already. So they're coming in like the thing to do snow cones and stuff. Like that's something that you have, they check out and they get to use it.
Right.
And then it's got all of your vendor partners and sponsors on that. So everybody's getting brand recognition. Just you. Hers. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's your stuff you've purchased and then they're using that equipment specifically.
They can. The vendors can use that. My clients use it. And the vendors, they get to use it for client events, which is fabulous. So fun story, actually, real quick. I know I got
you're good. Go. It's a talk show. Go.
So age to age. So my strategy is it doesn't matter what your B2C strategy is or your B2B strategy. If your H to H strategy isn't the human to human strategy, isn't taking care of the client beyond the close table, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to scale this because at the rate at what tech and AI are moving, and we're like so hot on AI. Have you guys heard about AI?
No, never.
Okay. No. I'm going to blow your mind here real quick at the end. I know it. But at the rate that's moving, the one thing that tech and AI will never be able to replicate is the human-to-human connection our brains innately crave.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing that we have leaned into. So we had a vendor partner this year. I love this story so much. I tell it a lot. But he was trying to get this big book of commercial business. And he's sitting in the sales meeting and the prospect gets a little bit distracted halfway through. And he's like, hey, I got to go. I forgot I have to throw this party tomorrow for a company we're bringing on. I have to go get all this equipment. And my vendor's like, hey, I have an H to H strategy you're going to love. Tells them about my business model. Tells them about our partnership. They come and pick out every piece of equipment in our little tiny garage. We have our VIP garage. And side note, the top 20 pieces of equipment checked out cost $4,000. People can buy it in today's market for $4,000. It's so.
What is it?
What are the top 2 or 3?
Top 20. Like to me.
Just give us like an idea what's in there.
Tables and chairs are the biggest one for party. Yep. We have a commercial grade food warmers are a big one. The bouncy houses are always big. We have.
Do you have a list that we could share with our listeners?
Oh yeah, I'll send you a list on that. Yep, and also I'll share with your community our exact framework we used when we onboard in vendors too, if that would be helpful, because that's when when we sit down to onboard these vendors into our program, it's the same framework we use every time that lets them arrive at the solution or the realization that we're the solution to the problem they have at such a $295 a month. You guys, come on, that's nothing. You know that what we're doing for them. But so this vendor, he's like, okay, they come down and they rent all this stuff. All this stuff is branded to me, right? They check it out, I should say. They go to this
they didn't
party.
rent it. Yeah,
they didn't rent it. No, they check it out, bring it to this party. And I don't have a relationship yet with this commercial outfit. And apparently this party had like 200 people at it. And the head honcho of this commercial outfit was blown away. Like, couldn't get over my business model, talked about it all night to everybody. Again, our brand, like between those two companies.
Yeah.
So the head honcho calls the landscaping owner the next day, making sure he knows what his salesperson did, gives them that business and then some. So now like 500 employees between these two companies. I have both of the CEOs who are just walking, talking billboards for me, for our brand, about what we're doing to serve, how our serverpreneurship has helped their life, and how that amount of word of mouth for me, I couldn't ever get with a dumb old billboard with my silly face on it. You know, I couldn't have gotten that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. So someone listening right now or watching is like, they get to see the after picture, right? Of you creating and building all these systems and processes. If someone is inspired by what they've heard from you so far, and they're like, okay, finally someone speaking my language, I absolutely want to start to emulate this. Where do you recommend that they start? Because you've built the lease buyout thing, you've built you have so many different tools for wherever they are in the process. Where should an agent, they got to book a business, they make a full-time living selling real estate, but they feel stuck. Right. Where do you recommend they start?
Well, first thing I always say is first run a competitive analysis in your market. I do have I can give you that too. I have a competitive analysis AI prompts that I can show you how to run it so they can figure out the strengths, weaknesses, and gaps of the competitors in their market, the top 5. From there, I have my worksheet walks them through how to add in H-to-H strategies based upon what their competitors are doing to make them the leader in their market, like looking for dark spots within their market or in their entire transaction from before, during, and forever. Where are their touch points lacking? And I have a whole course on it. I have a digital, I have everything on it that I've already built out. So if they're interested in that, they can do that. But the H to H, that is where they're going to win. Adding in H to H strategy that are taking care of the client beyond, that are getting them to say their name and knowing that those touch points are coming from a service place. That's the difference. Like, agents don't mean to lose touch with their clients. They don't. They just run out of authentic ways to stay connected. Yeah. And this is the authentic way to stay connected.
Yeah. All right. I got a follow up. So you talk about forever client, which I love. What's your process? How you mentioned touch points. You do an analysis to see where there's gaps. Give me the framework of like, what is that, high level, but what's the touch points look like over, I think the average is 8 to 13 years people own a property. So like, how are you engaging with them over that period of time?
Well, like annually, our forever clients have about 90 to 100 touch points they get from us in a service-centric way.
Stop. Wait.
Yeah.
Did you just say 90 to 100?
Yes, from a service-centric way. So think about every piece of equipment they get. They have 3 touch points they get from us. And that's not even including the face-to-face when they come and pick up the piece of equipment. So there's 3 right there.
Yeah.
And then you think from there, then every vendor, and there's no way for me to really quantify the vendor touch points because that's all coming from us. Like little things like, where's my stick and scan it, solve it.
Just in case you're just listening, she's reaching for a prop right now that she's going to show the camera. So you should be watching on YouTube like everyone else.
So like little things. So this is like the littlest thing. This is a stick it, scan it, solve it. We put next to the garage door opener of our clients during the buyer walkthrough. And we give them to our listing agents to put on their water heaters underneath their counter. This goes back to my client facing vendors. Yeah. So we solidify throughout.
Listeners. For listeners, it's about a 4-inch by 4-inch square with a QR code that gives the full list to all the vendors that are inside of her system, and it's stuck in the garage so that whenever you need it, it's right there for you.
And they see our brand walking by every time. And so we just solidify, but it's also the hook for my agents to use when they're standing in the driveway, meeting a cold lead, somebody, or maybe even a warm lead that they haven't met before, knowing that consumer is talking to 3, 4, 5 different brokers, right? They're standing in the driveway saying, hey, has anybody walked you through the home buying process? Also, have you heard about our lifetime home support model? We have a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process. We can save you $20,000 in the first year. Savings and support continue for life. And then they walk them through the unique value proposition that best fits their human journey at the time. Oh, and by the way, we have this.
Yeah, you've really separated yourself out because it's not transactional. This is the experience over the course of time. Yep. Keith, I'm going to switch to another question before I do. If you want something on this specific topic, because I want to take her down a different road.
Yeah, go ahead.
Slightly. You've focused so much. I love this, by the way. I just wanted to huge fan over here.
Yay.
Because I say that because if we don't figure out how to shift how we are perceived and our value is perceived from the consumer, we are screwed. Because if consumers continue to think it's just a transactional relationship, they're going to look at that fee and they're going to try and figure out what you're worth based upon what they can see, and then it is over. Right. But you're basically creating this relationship that's so much bigger. Have you done the math? I'm thinking this right now. Here's what my compensation is, but it's essentially over this massive period of time. You're getting me over 13 years, like a financial advisor. It's maybe a bad example, but you're paying to have them look over your entire portfolio for this longevity. And I think if we start to shift the way that people think about our job, then it starts to change the idea of what we're doing. Right.
Well, the ROI, just so you know, from the difference between my VIP club to compared to my what we've gotten out of our billboards, so silly billboards with my face on them, 38,000% is the ROI on that. 38,000%. So that's a pretty sexy number.
Do you charge?
I get it.
Yeah. Do you charge for the VIP club? Does everyone get into the VIP club?
They get into it for free. We upped our transaction coordination fee when we implemented it without any cost. Most people say, how much more does this cost me? That's the question usually. And we get, especially South Dakota, we were open through COVID. We moved in a lot of California. We moved in a lot of all the places. You're
welcome.
Yes. But we, most people like veteran real estate, people who have bought and sold a ton of real estate, they get into our ecosystem and they're blown away. We've had great relationships. So we've never had anything like this. We've never had anything where it's every step of their human journey and their home ownership journey, we have a solution for. And when you build a solution for a problem that's always going to be there, you create that stickiness. And it also allows us to create a stickiness with our agents. We have an over 7.5-year agent tenure. And because we are intentionally building them referable, scalable, sellable businesses, and we're keeping our culture pretty lovely too. And I think there's a lot of different thoughts on, going big or staying small and lean. Well, we're small and profitable, really profitable.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. It's and kudos to that. Yeah. All right, here's my question that I was going to ask because I kind of went off track. So you're going to hear Keith and I argue, debate on this, which doesn't happen very often.
That's so
Rocket Mortgage.
Oh, here we go.
Stop. So Rocket Mortgage buys Mr. Cooper. With this idea that they want to create a closed ecosystem, essentially touch points with the client over the time that they own the property. And I'm sure you're familiar with this. So, you log in, you can see the loan amount, the payment, here's refinancing options, here's what's for sale. Everything you could think about technologically about the ownership of that property. They're building something to get that stickiness in there. First question is, what are your thoughts on that move of them thinking more long-term about how to nurture the relationship to create business? I want to ask that question first. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm all about relationships and nurturing it. I don't know, exactly what that's going to look like long-term for them with the consumers. I don't know if that's going to be that way, but relationship, I understand the concept behind wanting to stay and your LTV. Christopher Lockhead has this great quote. He's an award-winning author. He says, if your profit model is based on transaction rather than lifetime value, you're always going to be worried about your clients leaving you for a younger, better looking you. That's what happened. And y'all, I've been in this for a long time. I was a hell of a lot cuter when I started. And
not me. I'm the best I've ever looked right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. But the LTV, and I don't think agents were, thinking about that. And they also don't think about their cost to acquire. The longer your LTV is, the less your cost to acquire is. And so I understand the concept.
Let me ask a follow-up question. How worried are you about Rocket trying to take your clients with their closed ecosystem that James just talked about?
Not even for a second.
Me neither. Thank you. Thank you, right, Amy.
So I was leading into the second question because I think this is important, where it was kind of important. There are systems out there that agents can buy and companies can buy that have a similar idea of follow-up. And think along the lines of, it's notifying the customer they need to get their dryer vents cleaned because it's annual. Like, you need to clean this out, you need to get your stuff serviced, et cetera. Are you using any of those systems? I'm kind of going down your tech stack road. Okay.
Yeah. No, our system is built that way. We our next roadmap is a little bit different, a subscription model for home ownership. But no, I'm not using any of those right now.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about the subscription model?
Yeah. Well, the next roadmap for us is to go in and create feeding, because my ideal client profiles all feed each other. It's an engine. We don't have a marketing department at Amy Stockberger Real Estate. We have a lifetime home support engine. It's not a marketing department. It's just an engine that feeds itself. And so it's, our buyers and sellers, of course, our real estate agents, attraction, retention, and then local companies. They all feed each other. So the subscription model that we're building out is for home ownership, because home ownership is hard. And so we'll have a value proposition where it's a discount for our forever clients that get it. And there'll be different tiers based upon, what the client, whether it's a, first time home buyer-ish up to the square foot of the house, or if it's just like an empty nester where they're heading out, down south. But it will all come back and feed my vendors. The more I feed my vendors, the more clients we get.
You're seeing this in the trades now. It's really an exploding. Like, plumbers are offering a subscription-based service. Right. You get quicker appointment times, guaranteed discount, guaranteed, like emergency service. And so you're starting to see these trades expand into this service, into the subscription-based service. Is that sort of what you're saying, that like you'll do that, but for real estate? Really smart. Right.
And just offer, and then have people pay me to advertise them about Amy Stockberger Real Estate. So we'll be because we'll so if they're not forever clients, like we want to be their preferred real estate brokerage, and we have all the services to take care of it because we have those relationships established. And again, we're authentically helping these businesses. And so when you're authentically doing that before really our wants, needs, and desires, just like the Go Giver book is where we really in 2014, I fell in love with that book when I was looking for a solution from my shitty business model of being the expert at connecting buyers and sellers. Like, who the hell did I think I was? That's what it is, that the sales naturally follow.
I love what you're doing, just because you're just trying to turn the whole thing on its head. I think it's
I don't even think you're turning it on its head. I think what you've done is really dissected the homeowner experience.
Sure.
And then tried to provide a solution wherever they are in that continuum of home ownership, from rental, not even home ownership, from rental all the way to I'm selling my last house I'm going to sell.
But you're looking at your brokerage differently. You're rethinking what a brokerage and what an agent does, which is what I meant. Yeah, and we're saying the same thing, but I love how you're really making that look different. All right. You mentioned this and I want to make sure we get this in. So I don't know what you were referring to, but you said something like AI. So what does that mean?
You guys sit down. You're sitting down, right? Okay.
Yeah, totally. Let's play AI bingo and see who gets drunk first.
So. That'd be me.
Yeah. No, we live in a delicious time with everything that's happening with AI, right? And so I think the people who are not harnessing it are going to fall behind. That's what it is. I took a playbook out of Dan Martell's playbook, and the rule is at our office, because we're very AI forward, which every, I think, leading company should be. But if our employees are not using AI first, they're being irresponsibly unproductive, and that doesn't align with our core values. And so we're at this point, we've automated 60% of our workflow at this point. We have 30 some AI agents. I have 2 digital employees being built out inside Microsoft Teams right now to stop the search spiral for my agents. The first one, her name is Sammy. She's a 24/7 support that taught, in our language, knows our inside jokes, knows our cultural, phrases that we use, but is able to get them, because we're very systematized, everything lived in Trainual, which is the learning management software, but that search spiral exists, right? Like 54% of people don't click on anything when they're out searching on Google because they couldn't find what they wanted from the search. And so, and agents, beautiful agents who are really great at serving kind of suck at kind of those things. And I don't want to stop them. I want them to be as efficient as possible so they can continue to serve at a high level. And so Sammy's providing that solution where they can come in and say, how do I cancel an open house because I just sold my listing? And she's like, hey, and they'll like, here you go. Here's this in a conversational way that's allowing them to get back to what they're doing. And like the same way we as our, the leadership team would say, and minimizing some of that time of the you got a minutes, those things. So it's helping streamline other things because every time we automate, I call it keeping your business sad, systemized, automated, delegated, or deleted. Like you have to put everything in your business through that filter. Like how can you systemize it? Where can you automate it? Who can you delegate it to? And oftentimes as visionaries, we're the ones who make it complex. We add a layer of complexity that doesn't need to be there. So oftentimes the answer is just delete that stuff, And so we run that through and she's just a solution for us right now that she's in beta. She's doing good. She started out like a real dummy, but she's doing better and she's getting there. And we're excited to see, how it helps our agents serve at the highest level possible.
What was that sentence you said about you're being irresponsible and it doesn't align with our core? Hit me with that one more time. Say it again.
Yeah, the rule of our office, our employees, like during our onboarding and interviews, is that if they're not using AI first, they're being irresponsibly unproductive. And that does not align with our core values.
I'm making that my ringtone. I'm making that my ringtone. Your voice will be my ringtone for the next 5 years.
I was going to say, he asked you to say that again because he's going to cut that clip and send it to people in our senior management team is where that's going. So that's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. I am making that my email footer. Yeah.
I wish it was me who came up with it. It wasn't. It's a playbook from Dan Martell. And
it's beautiful.
It's so, but it makes sense though, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. You're preaching to the choir here. Yeah.
All right.
Amen. Yeah.
So we got enough time for a couple more questions. Yeah. And I want to ask you one that is, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but you've spent a tremendous amount of time trying a lot of stuff to figure this out. And as you said, you fail forward a lot, which by the way, love that. And that's just it's a great way to learn things too. Somebody wants to try and do this whole lifetime home support program or their own version of it. What would you tell them as the thing not to do? Like here's the biggest thing I learned not to do. Do not try to do X in this process because this is going to be a total failure.
Right.
So that if they're going, I'm going to do this on my own. Is it like, don't go buy all that equipment right away? I don't know. Like, what is the first thing you would tell somebody who wanted to try go down this road of
first, I would just make sure that if they're really into the consistency and if it aligns truly with who they are. If they're really transactional, don't do this. It's not going to work because it's not going to show up that way. Okay. So if you're a transactional agent and that's just in cold leads are your jam, go. If somebody would have told me back in the day when I started that I had to make cold calls, we would not be talking, gentlemen. That's not the way my brain works. Yep. Yeah. And so if that isn't in alignment with who you naturally are, and that it's just not going to work. But if it is something that you're in alignment with, then I guess the other big mistake I would say not to do is not to have it everywhere in your business model. That's where agents fail too, is they're like, shiny object, I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm not going to put it everywhere else. It needs to live everywhere from your onboarding. It needs to live in every action plan. It needs to live in your marketing campaigns. Like our themes of our social media on Amy Stockberger Real Estate's socials are, it's lifetime home support one day. And then it's VIP another day because VIP is so big. And then it's one of our unique value propositions that we cycle through depending on what we're going after, or maybe the timing of the year or whatever, because that's our brand. Like that is what we want to convey out, that's what we're doing. And then cultural, agents and things like that, but it lives everywhere. There isn't any piece in my lifetime home support engine that lifetime homes, which is our marketing department, doesn't live. It lives everywhere. It's omnipresent.
I love that, by the way. Love that piece. Keith, what do you got?
Well, I think what would help the listener the most is if you could sort of expand on, I asked this earlier, but I'm going to ask it again because I feel like most of the people listening right now, my guess is you are too many chapters ahead of them in the textbook. And what you casually mentioned that you basically did 150 touches or whatever a year. right?
And 90 to 100.
Yeah, 90 to 100. And so some people drove into the ditch because they just can't believe that, right? Like you're
not from our podcast, by the way, just for the lawyers, and nothing to do with listening.
Right. But like reaching out to your clients every 3 days sounds completely foreign, right? So like what is the baby step to get started? What is the first, like, okay, I'm with you. It's me. I don't have a team. I maybe have an assistant, back when it was you and your sister and one assistant, right? How did you start this?
Right. Well, okay. Just so the 90 to 100, do know that the majority of that is an automated process with
of course
things. So it's not like them doing.
You're not making cold call. You're not calling them every 3 days. That would be not appropriate, right?
No,
of course.
Insane.
Yeah.
But so here's maybe a really easy, digestible way to do this. So think about every vendor, everybody who helps you with deals, everybody you refer to serve your clients, your preferred vendors list, every agent at any stage of their career has that list, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They need to make it into a formal, unique value proposition. So we partnered with ProInsight, which offers this AI powered tech to find behavioral parts of their database of when they're going to make the move, right? Similar, But what we did with this though is we've taken my model and added it in so agents can easily do this in bite-sized way. We show them how to build out a network of 25 to 50 people of their vendors. So taking their preferred vendors list and having them give them leads. My partner in this business, he has a saying I love. He's like, usually the real estate agent is a salad bar and everybody else brings a fork. We built out a way because that's how my vendor program, right, is they refer me. They refer me. So instead of doing it the complicated, my way, I have a way to teach people how to do it. I have that all, but a really easy way is to do it through our solution in ProInsight. We show them how to do this very easily, and then their database is put into the software, and that they find opportunities in their database. So then you have all these people, like 12, some 22,000 after you have 25 people, 500 people in there that are all working in the same unison, and also a unique value proposition for that agent saying, I have everybody you're going to need. I am here for you before, during, and forever. I'm not just transactional. I have what you're going to need beyond the closing table with these relationships, and they're authentically building those relationships and getting those referrals back.
Beautiful, man. All
right, I mean, this is really cool, Amy, because we haven't had out of all of our guests, technically, other than one, we haven't had anybody who's just really gone down this far, the rabbit hole of like how to just maintain these relationships with people. But you're doing it on a level. You would enjoy this, by the way. We did a pod with a guy named Charlie Wills. You'd actually enjoy listening to him because single agent does 33 deals a year. 98% of his business is from his sphere, and he works his top 100 people in his sphere, and he gets all of his business from that. That's all he does. Just literally, every single people in that top 100 people get 52 touch points a year, and it's just him and his wife.
Beautiful.
And he had a really interesting playbook on how he does it with like follow-ups and parties and things, but that is the closest. But yours is way more like just on a much more structured, bigger scale, quite a bit more long-term. So kudos to you for just thinking about the whole business.
Why don't you think more people do what you do?
I think so agents want easy. They want they want to hit the easy button, and that's why a lot of people get into the business, right? They think good money, you can make your own hours, ha ha. Yeah,
it's easy. You just work all of them.
Just every single one. I think they don't realize, like, pick your hard. Like, what's your hard? Is your hard turning cold leads and not converting and spending a shit ton of money on something you have no ROI? Is that your hard? Or is your hard going to be, doubling down and doing something as easy? Like when we started our VIP club, and most agents who have this, and here's an example. So I just got an email actually this week from a team in around the Chicago area. He implemented my program in just the VIP, not the territorial licensing, just VIP. And he's had a record-breaking year. His team has had a record-breaking year. You guys, we're in a market where there's not a lot of record breaking happening. And he's like, he's like, it is because of our VIP club, because of what we've done to stay in front of it. Because in a market like this, you need to be in front of as many have tos as possible, right? Well, how do you get in front of more have tos? you grow your sphere numbers so that your name's coming out of their mouth more naturally. And
just widen the aperture.
Yeah. And this, also, not to go too dark, I know we're going long, but too far down the hole, but so we also built out a corporate partnership program. We call it like Home Support Team Light, which is our vendor program. So think of all these companies. Everybody has problems you can solve. And that's what a good entrepreneur does, is they solve a problem, right? And so big corporations, medium to big, some small, but they have a problem where they're trying to attract and retain good talent. And they're also bringing in talent from out of market, right? So the recruiters and the HR, they're tasked with selling the city and selling their company. They're trying to get this talent, and they have these two things they're trying to do. Well, they're not nearly as good at selling the city as we are. So we offer our corporate partners this program where we come in and we take over selling the city, and we do all these things that we do for Home Support Team besides the marketing part of it, and we get access to their employees. So we get to go into all these employees who are not avatars for my Home Support Team partners. So think of like engineering companies, call centers. We have surgical centers who are part of my corporate partners. And we get to have, again, providing value. And that's one thing, too, with any of our marketing dollars. So through our Lifetime Home Support engine, anything I spend, because our cost to acquire for our Home Support Team leads is negative. My vendor program more than doubles when I run that program, right? So we put that same type of concept, the Amazon concept, in every dollar we spend. Like, is it going to help us serve at a higher level? Or is it going to help us serve a higher dollar amount? Rich people, solve rich people problems, they pay more, right? Or is it going to help us add another recurring revenue in? Or is it going to help us strengthen a relationship? So we're doing an event that they want us to, a $30,000 investment for this big event. And so we negotiated in, like, only if I get to have office time with your employees. You have 125 employees. If I get office time where my agents get to be in there during the day doing seminars. So to ROI that for me, I need to sell serve 4.5 clients, where then I have a year's worth of marketing that's free. Well, then who's happy? Well, my husband who sits in my financial seat, he's happy. But also my agents, I get them an opportunity to do that. This community that I get a part of, and then I get free brand awareness, for another year because of it. So it's just just thinking about how you can serve in all these different ways.
I just love it. I think it's just you're really thinking about all the depth of relationships and just how to make that go. And the most important part is I'd say this lovingly, but you're not having to do all this top of funnel business where you're having to funnel out all these referral fees.
Yeah.
So you're really, your agents and your brokerage is making more, you're getting more from your investment on stuff. So
and you still have spend, but you got spend on, party supplies, right? And things that will make your brand echo and resonate in town as opposed to in the digital universe or wherever else. All right. This is the last question we ask everyone. Yeah. I think I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm excited to hear it. For agents or team leaders who are listening, who want to build something at scale, what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
I think I probably have already said it, but
say it again.
I will say systemize. Actually, I want to say is they need to embody the superpower of implementation. There is so much that is lost if you don't have that's one thing that, again, I have a PhD in failing forward. And the only reason I have that is because I have a superpower of implementation. I'm not scared to lose. I don't lose, I learn. And so harnessing that, it's not all going to work. It's going to suck. It's going to probably be terrible. Stick in it long enough. But if you don't have the superpower of implementation, how the hell are you ever going to know?
Yeah, just start. Right.
We have got to, I just realized, Keith, we have got to create a swag store, which we do, but we need to add shirts with all of the quotes from our guests.
Yeah.
So we've got this one from you. We had one from a guest that the leads don't suck. You do.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
There's all these really great nuggets we're getting. We need to do that. Fun, So, all right, Amy, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Yeah, it was refreshing. Really
seeing
refreshing.
Your success, it is very understandable why, and I know there's a big team with you and behind you that helps with all of it. But you can absolutely tell you have a language that's all your own, a vision that is all your own, and you are executing on that vision. So thank you for sharing that with our listeners. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I didn't say this though, you guys, but my staff time is only about an hour a day on our VIP program, so it isn't a lot. It's just it's so easy. It just truly is. But thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Great pod. Super fun to listen.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate that. Look forward to talking to you again in the future.
So. Yes.
Whether you're a broker or an agent or just curious about what in the heck I'm going to say next, you should subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.